All right, so welcome to the Stockbridge Cemetery Commission, Tuesday, July 29th, 2025. Thank you all for allowing me to wait 1 week. That was perfect. So the approval of the minutes is our first to be June 4th, 2025. Anything on the minutes?
I thought they were excellent.
I thought so too.
Great.
Fantastic.
I move we approve them, even though we wish Pat were here.
I second that, both parts.
Okay.
All right.
We're gonna have a vote. We have to have a vote.
Oh, God, that's right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
It was, all right. Inclusion in the Revolutionary War Monument Group. You all got the email I sent out. I wrote him back saying nobody's available. And I haven't.
So that was a request of somebody from the commission to,
It was more of an invitation, I would say, than a request.
Yeah,
okay.
more of an invitation. They want to include us in the planning for the Revolutionary War Monument.
okay. And which is,
It's not there yet. That's what they're working on in that whole area.
where we have all the other, across from the cemetery.
Yeah, right.
Where the other,
And I think there's some talk of moving other things around, moving the other
Oh.
monuments around. I
okay.
don't know. Although I went and looked at it and there's a couple of spaces there that, anyway, I haven't heard back from him. I figure, we're gonna probably write to him about the tribal flag when we get to that part. And then I can ask him if there's gonna be, I couldn't tell if it was one meeting and that was all, or
Okay.
So it says, I'm looking at the email now. We have assembled a group of residents and stakeholders to partake in the planning of the creation and installation of an American Revolutionary War memorial on the town green where existing memorials are installed. We would like to extend an invitation to include a member of the Cemetery Commission in our group. Our next meeting is July 25 at 2 p.m. via Zoom. I would be happy to discuss what transpired up till now. So I guess, my view is we're in charge of the cemetery, not the thing across the street that is somewhat vaguely related, but not really our purview.
Yeah, I was somewhat curious about it, but
Right.
not enough to change my plans.
Right. And, I'm grateful for being invited and
Yes.
I wasn't available and I'm not sure I would have attended. I might have.
Yeah,
But thank you to
yeah,
the invitation.
yeah. And I did thank him for it. And, so I think,
As far as I know, the Historical Commission has not been invited, and it's been on my agenda to, if you don't mind, to forward this email to Linda and say,
no, I think it's a great idea.
yeah, so I'll do that. I just thought I'd come to today's meeting and get an update since
Yeah.
I was away for most of last week and didn't have time to think about it.
Yeah, so I feel like if there's another meeting and I'm available, I might go.
Yeah,
That's really, but I don't feel,
yeah, I don't think the Cemetery Commission has to do an official thing.
oh, I don't think so. No, I just wanted to,
Yeah, it's an interesting thing, and particularly, I think they've got their work cut out for them with the Native American and I don't even know, is it just people who died, I think, as opposed to all veterans?
no, I looked at the other veterans.
What is
And
it?
they include people who are still alive.
Right.
They only have a little star next to somebody who died in
In battle?
battle, yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, so that surprised me a little bit.
yeah.
When he says stakeholders, I was thinking, what's,
I assume that's the Muncie community.
yeah, I would think so.
Um, And that's great if they can figure out, who to list for the Muncie community. And I think they're working on that. But yeah, it's all like not exactly the Cemetery Commission's.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So I feel like I'm not gonna, worry about it. But I am surprised about the Historical Commission, honestly. And-
Yes, and since we're being recorded, I will say no more.
All right. Got it. Okay. Okay. The next one I put down was Sedgwick burial cards. We learned, I think, we learned that they're not really taking, cards are really in here.
Right.
Yeah.
It's considered it's handled in the same way that
Our cards, right.
the Stockbridge Cemetery is handled, where They even have the same burial consultant that we're using.
Yeah,
And he updates cards and Teresa updates the text
Right,
on the
right.
cards.
so originally I'd been thinking,
Terry,
oh,
excuse me.
we don't need, we shouldn't have this either. But I talked to Michael a little bit about it and he said, oh, this is a private cemetery. That's not the same kind of problem that we have with a religious cemetery. So we can keep those cards
Who's the
and,
we in that sentence, though? I mean, I feel like the town as opposed to the cemetery commission.
no, the
town.
town, yeah.
So I just don't feel like it's the Stockbridge Cemetery Commission's job, is it, to track them in any way of burials? And
No, I think it's, it's the town. And the reason I'm kind of pulling back from the idea of getting rid of the cards is that we're just not sure how much longer or who is going to run that cemetery. And Michael even said to me, at some point, they may give it to us. Right.
Yes,
So rather than get in, and since.
good idea.
So I think it's not a problem to get rid of we don't need to get rid of the card because it's not
As
a,
everybody understands, like, we're not the ones who are updating them. And I guess the town clerk is doing it.
she's doing it, yeah. And,
Courtesy maybe to the Sedgwick family, which is.
Yes. Yeah.
and Arthur's wife just died.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, so we don't know I don't know if he gets to stay there or someone else is going to take over and you said there's not much money there either, so,
As far as I understand.
yeah, right, so anyway, I think we should hang on to them and keep doing what we've been doing with them. Okay,
And just to be clarified, the cemetery commission is not doing anything with them, right?
No.
Right, so the we in that remains, I think, the town.
The
yeah,
town.
it's the town, so, all right. So the next thing is the vault and the hearse buildings. I think you all know that the came in too high.
Yeah, I got the email from Ian, which you forwarded, it just
Right.
said, obviously, with how high the bids came in for total restoration of the whole job is out of the question. this
Yeah,
year.
right, it is. But their Preservation Inc. is suggesting that we now go about and doing the roof and the wooden pieces, the wooden parts of the building.
Including the lead flashing over the door.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that seems like an excellent idea, and to postpone the masonry work.
Right.
And apparently, does Ian have enough sense of what the relative costs are of those two things that he thinks, hopefully,
He thinks
by
hopefully,
narrowing the scope?
we're supposed to get it back today, so I don't know if
Way to
it's
go.
actually come in yet or not, but,
Awesome. Yeah, I think that's an excellent compromise.
yeah.
I'm sorry, it was for the roof and the
Um,
painting of the wood or something?
No,
I can read from Ian's email. So it says, so we are going to send out an amended scope of work to the two people who bid, which will entail the roof, the woodwork repair, including the lead flashing over the door, and the painting of the exterior woodwork,
Okay,
and see if that comes back within the budgetary numbers.
yeah,
And then he goes on to say, you can then go back to the CPC and ask for the funding for the next phase, parens masonry, for next year.
right. So
Great.
that's great for the vault.
Seems like a
And,
good
uh,
suggestion.
the number we're looking to get under is 50,000.
Exactly.
Yep. And do you know what the bid number came in at?
One was 83 and one was 106.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Wow.
I know. I think we all were surprised.
World has gotten expensive.
Well, it has. So when you're caught up, then we should talk about the hearse building.
Okay.
Okay, so I was talking with Ian about this and I said, maybe we should just get rid of the CPC, turn that money back into the CPC, because the CPC money right now is for the hearse building. And he came back with a suggestion. I said, but maybe we don't even know what we're going to do with it. We just don't know. And it could be a lot of money. And he said, well, he came back with the idea that they would do the same kind of RFP that they did for the vault. And then we would get bids, actual bids. So then we would know what it's going to cost. And we would do that in the fall. You said you'd have them by December, and I wrote back saying, let's have them by September because the CPC is now meeting to do their analysis and giving out of money in early December. So that's what he proposed. I wanted to run it by everybody else and see what you all think.
So let me just read from the minutes of June, just to see if that coincides with what you're saying. So item 5, Hearst House update. RFP is already complete and the commission approved it. Preservation Inc. will find the qualified bidders for this project as they did for the vault project. So he's got the RFP ready to go.
Well, that's what, no, he said he was going to do the thing that they did for the vault where they actually said, look at this part needs, this part needs working. So it's a little bit more than the RFP. Something that.
So you're going to split it up differently.
Yeah, and also then they can send it out and actually get actual bids. Guys can look at it. Contractors can look at it and say, oh, I've got to do this much for the outside, this much for underneath. So we'll get the bids. I do think we need to have a serious conversation about what we're going to do with the building. Probably not today because we are missing 2 people.
But so, I mean, right now, it gets used basically to store the cover to the cat and dog fountain.
Yeah.
And that doesn't qualify as being meaty enough to put in however much money we plan to be putting into the Hearst House.
Yeah. Well, it scares me to think that it could be over 100,000 or 150,000 for a building we're not sure what we're going to do with.
Yeah.
So the historical commission member here
Yes.
of the view that even if we have no use for it, it should be saved. It's a town of Stockbridge property. It's on the cemetery grounds. It's a very historic building and needs to be saved for that reason. And time goes on and who knows what uses will be found for it.
Yep. There's a part of me that says all that too.
And particularly, I mean, we're getting money from various sources around town. It's not like all coming out of the cemetery commission's pocket, is it?
No, it's not. But we're also doing the vault at the same time. So, and then we might have to go back to CPC for more. Well, actually, we do have in our account that we would have to go to town to get the money from. We have $107,000.
Yeah, we're not touching that. We're
Well,
not touching that. That's all the money we have. That's not going to go far, as we've just seen. It could have taken up the vault.
oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, that's true.
It's no doubt that these monies, I mean, you've done a great job of telling us what they're for, and then I do a great job of forgetting.
That's okay. That's okay.
I'm with you on that.
So the 107, that's like, we got a big appropriation, if you will, at a town meeting a few years ago. For, particularly, I think, thinking about the restoration of the graves.
It was a preservation. Yeah. Preservation.
But
Yeah.
broadly stated so that theoretically we could use it for anything. Was there not, we got some money from the Community Preservation Committee though we the Hearst House itself,
We did. We went in for money. I now feel we went in too soon. We hadn't made it. But we went in. We went in really quickly. We got 32.5 the first year. The second year, which is this past year, is 20. So we have 52, which is 52.5, which we.
And isn't it possible, and maybe you're already thinking this, that the same thing could happen with the
We do piece.
Hearst House, the bid comes in more than 52, probably.
Yeah.
And then we say, oh, okay, it's more than 52. Go back to the bidders with a refined RFQ that focuses on the things that are most important to keep the building from falling down.
Yeah.
And, or maybe go back to the CPC next year, but you pointed out, well, we maybe go back for the vault.
Yeah.
And so do we want to go back to 2 things? That's a whole nother issue.
Yeah.
But it does seem like there's a way to manage preservation of the Hearst House. And given that we've already got $52,000 for it from the town, like why would we not spend that money to at least preserve the thing?
And I think that's what Ian was saying too. Let's get you actual bids and then we can decide what we want to do.
Yeah, so I'll just read that paragraph from his email too, for the record. As to the Hearst building, since you already have money set aside for the RFQ, Bill and I would like to do that this fall. That is, get the RFQ out, I think. and get you numbers by December. And you have correctly said, hey, try to get us numbers by September. So if it is reasonable and you need to ask for a bit more money, you can. So yeah, it sounds like we're all on the same page with that.
Yeah.
So let's do that.
And so he, is it an RFQ or an RFP? He highlighted RFQ.
Yeah, so he said RFQ, and in our minutes, we said RFP, and I have no idea which one is right.
I think it's the one that we already had approved and the RFQ is the new thing.
So that's typically requests for qualifications. So you send that out to people who you think can fix it, and we find out if they're really qualified. And the RFP would be the thing for request for a proposal. So that's when you get actual bids back.
I tend to agree with that. So therefore, it seems to me that Ian inadvertently used the term RFQ when he said, as to the Hearst building, since you already have money set aside for the RFQ, Bill and I would like to do that as well. We set aside money for the RFP, right? I mean, like they gave us a bid that said, hey, we'll do an RFP for X dollars. And we voted, yes, that sounds good.
Can you clarify that with Ian? Just to,
He's on vacation right now.
Okay.
So, or he might be back, but,
I mean, because we didn't set aside money for an RFQ. It seems to me that wouldn't be very expensive. We just say, hey, send us your qualifications.
Yes.
okay, we'll do. All right. Tribal flag. As you know, it's been taken, the tribal flag's been taken down. Yes.
Are we going to discuss why, or is that not really? And I'm wondering, like, they have it at the town recycling facility, right? Like,
Actually, they don't have one there. I thought it was one, and I think I'm the one.
That other flag, is that maybe the
It's
town?
flag.
Oops, okay.
I know.
I thought it was, yeah.
All right.
So what the cemetery commission did was put the tribal flag on
Underneath.
the same pole underneath the United States flag.
Right.
And
We thought we were copying something that had already been done, but it seems like maybe we were.
And so we were asked by the tribe to.
Yes,
move it.
we were asked to, there was a hint that the veterans were going to also say something, but that was a hint and there was never any further. But the tribe did say they would prefer their own pole would be shorter. If it has to be underneath, if there's no way we could do a second pole, then if it has to be underneath, then the problem would be if it was brought down to half staff,
All right.
because it would be too low to the ground. I wrote back to Rich Badway saying, we don't have to worry about this because it's only in public buildings that it goes down to half. And he wrote back, he'd say, well, the veterans would like that. So I went to Michael Canales and he said, absolutely not. We are not bringing that down to half staff.
It's a lot of work. Like, there's many things to be done.
Yeah. Who's going to remember to bring it back up again?
Yes.
Or put it down? We're not doing that. However, the tribe would really prefer their own flag. It has to do with sovereignty. It has to do with a sense of being their own nation.
Yep.
So what I wrote back to Rich Badway was, we were trying to be respectful and it seems like we kind of didn't. So that's the question for us. And I actually have Pat's thoughts on it as well, because we talked about this when we drove up to Cheshire. So we could do two, or we could do one underneath and say it's never going to come down. And I just wanted to throw that out and talk about what we all think about it.
So there's obviously a cost in doing a second flagpole. Now, the first flagpole, that was one of the ones where Michael Canales found a few dollars. And of course, Hugh Page, being so wonderful, got it done super inexpensively.
Before Memorial Day.
Yes, and
However,
really fast.
and I also should say, I mentioned to Michael that I'd love for him to pay for the next part, which includes the benches and all that. And he said, can't you take it out of your money? So I don't think we're gonna, I think we're gonna have to pay for that. So I meant to say that part up front, that I think this is something we have to pay for ourselves. And I think Well, I'm estimating between 5,000 and 6,000, and that includes the benches, which are 1,400. We're going to get 2 benches and some, some plants.
So in other words, you're suggesting that if we did it, we'd want to treat the Muncie community the very same way we treated around the American flag, or am I just misunderstanding what you just said?
I think we should put the two, if we do 2 poles, I think we should put them near each other, right near each other. So that then the
So
whole
that
area,
benches would include, and right, so what you're talking about is just we have to pay for these benches.
benches and also some of the plantings.
Yeah, so, and this is money that's coming out of our budget.
Right.
Um,
Which is why I'm always worried about the budget and doing too many buildings up front. But no, I mean, it's just so.
I am really disappointed that we need to put in a second pole.
Although we don't need to.
Well, we're being asked to, and I totally appreciate why. So it's not a reflection on the flags and flying the flags. It's on putting another piece of structure on the ground.
I agree.
I didn't totally want to see to begin with. And why, so what if we were to put it in the older section of the cemetery where Conkalpot is already interred?
Well, Rich Bradway said in his email to me, we can't do that. I don't know why he said that. We would have to talk to Rich at
And
when.
I must say, the historical commission did say they didn't want to see an American flag in the old section because that's not historic. And
Yeah,
the Muncie flag is there, but yeah, it doesn't seem like that's a great idea. And there's no really good place to put it. And that would be the most expensive solution because then we'd have to, maybe, I don't know. I guess.
I don't even, there are people buried there. We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know where
So
they are.
we can't be fooling around with digging that part.
I'm not wild about that either.
Okay.
I keep going back and I really go back and forth on it. On one hand, I like you, don't particularly want to have another flagpole there. But then I think, well, we're trying to be respectful and this is the way in which they feel respected. So.
Right. And so, is there a way to incorporate the flag, the tribal flag, closer to one of the benches? Is there a way to make it feel like a cohesive little garden?
Yeah, that's what I want.
And-
Yeah.
And what is the best way of doing that? So I don't know the answer to that, but
Right.
that's my concern, is to not make it look, we've got this flag and we've got this flag, we got these benches and we got these couple of
Yes,
little plants.
yes. With that, so I confess,
No, it's certainly not me. Yeah.
I confess to forgetting her name, but our person who.
Lisa.
Lisa, thank you. Would this be something we might ask Lisa? Lisa, do you see any way we could do this elegantly?
I was going to say, I think that's what we should
At
do.
least that would be step one. I don't think we're committing ourselves to do it. But if she says, no, there's no way you can do it elegantly, that would help us. Or if she says, oh, this is beautiful, and we all thought it was beautiful,
Yeah.
that might help us.
I've been including her in these emails and she just hasn't been answering. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think she's on summertime mode.
Yeah, I've seen her several times in West Stockbridge watering plants. She's doing a lot of watering.
There's been a lot of water.
I will say the one thing about not having to go to Michael to get the funding is at least we can decide when we're going to do this. We can take our time on this. We can,
Yes.
we don't have to.
Agreed with that. Like, part of me feels like at least we've already shown respect by trying. And then they said, well, we don't really like that. So to the extent that we say, okay, we're thinking and we have budgetary constraints and, we're not ruling anything out, but we're probably not going to do anything tomorrow either.
Right.
And I mean, maybe that's okay. So, yeah, I think,
What do we know for the request? So the one that was installed was 25 feet?
Yeah, I think so. And so
Can this one be 20 feet?
oh yeah, it actually literally needs to be lower.
Yes.
Because it can't be.
like American law or something.
Yeah, right.
Height?
No, I think it just has to be lower. So we could go 20. We don't want to go, I don't know what 15 would look like, but that seems a little,
Yeah, I don't think you want to go too low.
I mean, then the flag itself is suddenly
Yeah.
big on the face, but. well. Oh, it's your phone?
Oh, somebody's using the meeting room next door.
Yeah, well, that's the Tri-Town Health Department next door.
Oh, those are their offices now.
Yeah, yeah,
There's just these folding things between.
yeah. So they can hear us too.
Oh, that's okay. I hear them.
I think, it seems like maybe the next step is to go to Lisa and say, we're considering putting in a second flagpole. It would be shorter. But we still want it to be that garden space. That's a good way of putting it, garden space.
Yes, and of course, having like another flagpole, I think raises a lot of issues because you can't just put the pole in the ground and have nothing supporting it. So it sort of then takes up an area around the pole. I'm not sure how big, but
Yeah, that's the other
Well,
thing.
that's why I'm wondering, can it be implemented with the benches that might be surrounded by shrubs? You know, so that it's part of the bed and it's not exactly the focal point, but it still feels balanced.
yeah, so right. I think this is a question for Lisa. And
Yeah, yeah.
to be continued to be considered.
All right, so I am going to write to Lisa.
Okay, and can you ask Rich Bradway about the height of the pole?
Yeah.
Also, is he the one to ask?
No,
It is a little funny that we're going through Rich Bradway to get the tracks
and I-
used.
I don't want to keep working with him. I want to work.
It just seems sort of wrong. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, find out from Michael, that makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah. But I think we need to say, we're considering a second pole, but we still want this to be an enclosed garden space. I also don't want to take up a lot of space that we need to actually
Right.
use for burials down the
Right.
road,
Yes.
so, all right. All right, and then the last thing we have on our list is the policy for plantings, which is this wonderful document.
Oh, did you send that around in advance and I didn't see it or?
Oh, goodness, yes, you sent it out to everybody, right?
Yeah, but maybe I didn't send it to, maybe I only sent it to you at Stockbridge.
Well, even then, I should have seen it. Let's see. I'm
Well,
going
the thing is,
to search.
we do need the other two people, well.
Okay, well, good.
There's lots to comment on.
Excellent.
I made up a lot.
Is there anything?
Yeah, there it is, July 21. Completely overlooked. It's got the bold print. You didn't read this email.
Is there anything that you think we should be paying close attention to as we go
Well,
over it
You
again?
know, I made a lot of assumptions, so everything in here is food for us to debate and say if that's good or not good.
Awesome. This looks great. And it's, as you say, for fodder for us to chew on.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm, and I'm also a plant person who prefers natives, but native.
You have near native as a possibility.
Yes. And to be honest, the plant list that I put together, I passed over to a friend of mine. He said, no, you can't use some of those. He said, what you should be using is this new report that just came out of UMass Amherst.
Oh,
And so that's what I referred to. And it ultimately is a spreadsheet of like 2,000 plants.
Yeah.
plant list. That's
Yes.
Yes, so it was a plant list that was huge, and these are just a few of the columns. There's like 100 columns for each plant. And so I just tried to pick plants that were good for this area, that
Oh.
didn't have any major diseases, that had, the right soil types for our cemetery. So, and mostly this is deciduous. We might want some evergreen stuff, but I didn't get a whole lot of evergreens. There are a few.
I'm really drawing more deciduous stuff.
It's maybe not as beautiful in the winter, but
Yeah, but there's some things
Who
that
goes
turn.
there in the winter anyway? It's
There's-
like not opening.
You're right. Also, there's some things that turn red in the winter, which is kind of nice,
and I did not pass this by Lisa, but she might have some strong opinions too, because,
Yes.
and I noticed,
Yeah.
Lisa was suggesting river birch for us.
Yeah.
And that tree did not come up because it's a cultivar.
Ah.
I mean, it's still possible to use a cultivar, right? I just didn't include them. This list that was put together by UMass Amherst, they're also based on realizing that the climate zone that we currently have in Massachusetts is sort of what we may find by 2050. It feels more like North Carolina. So they're selecting plants that are on the.
Good. So I'm glad they're thinking about that. Yes.
That could survive.
Yeah.
So that's where this plant list has come from.
That's interesting. So I need to get this to Lisa as well.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. I sent you a PDF or the Word.
You sent me a Word document.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So if you want to look at it, you can open it up in Word and type in comments. That's all fine.
Okay.
Or put
Peter's
comments.
very bad at that. Being a 20th century person.
Being on the historical commission.
Yes. Somewhat historic himself.
Okay, I'll send that to her.
This is a great start, Candace. Thank you very much.
And, you know, it also makes the assumption that we've had a request for some memorial trees, so I put in.
I see you've got an application
an
form in there.
application for somebody who might want a memorial tree, and so I also said, well, here's a proposed plate.
Yeah.
And totally based on my experience at Mount Auburn Cemetery, that's sort of what the plates look like.
Okay.
For memorial trees.
And is it, I'm just wondering, like, so in my mind, if somebody wants to plant a memorial tree, there's two possibilities. One, it could be right at their gravesite, which
Yeah.
seems like not a good idea to me.
Yeah, right.
Or just somewhere else
Yeah.
Right.
where it might just fit with and then was raised, I think, in the minutes of the last meeting, then there's a question of, do they pay for it? How do they pay for it? And all that kind of
All
thing.
things to be discussed.
Excellent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, and we already do have a couple, well, certainly one request, either on the site or somewhere else. And then we have one that's also, we do have two. The body is not going to be here at all in any form,
Right.
but they want a tree or something so they can.
Right, so that goes to the issue of, like, yeah, we'd love to have some money to do plantings that we're already planning to do, and we don't want to put in a little sign there as far as I'm concerned. And then because of this, how do we go about doing that?
Right, right.
At some point, especially when we might ask Canales that question, do you think?
Mhm.
Yes, and so we should
Mhm.
think about, what kind of money do we ask in terms of taking care of this plant in the future, right? Does
Yes,
it go into the
yes.
endowment that we have, or do
Yeah.
we have another like planting endowment? Where should we,
Yeah,
how much should we ask for, and where should the money go? And do we really have somebody who's going to take care of it? Right? I mean, that's the big question, or how are we going to take care of it? Those are
Yeah.
all questions that we can't answer right now because we don't
know.
know.
Well, one of the things I've been thinking about, and it's just not the right time yet, but I'm thinking about working with Lisa a little bit longer, see how that goes. And then going back to Michael and saying, we need to raise our regular budget, not the stuff we're doing here, but the stuff that is part of the highway department. We need to raise that up so we can bring in someone like Lisa.
good idea.
I mean, what, 5,000, 6,000?
Yeah, it's easy to plunk that into the town budget. How
Exactly.
much is it every year now? Do we know?
It's $6,000.
Yeah, so I could be
Yeah.
told that.
So it was a little more than that because we're paying Rich Atwood $500 a month. So separate from that though, the rest of it is, because Michael and I went over this, it's like $5,000 or $6,000.
And that just essentially gets allocated to the highway commission.
And that's for mowing.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
right.
So, yeah, so I think that's totally a great thought.
We can't take care, this is no way to take care of the cemetery.
Yes.
We're doing it, the way we've
And
been.
frankly, to expect the highway department to, like, I still go in there and I see like, how could this not have been cut back? And it's just, there are a bunch of kids running lawnmowers. They don't know. And they're not thinking about that.
And of course, at some point, we'll have a new,
Yes.
and I want to meet with him. I think we all should meet with him and.
To sort of discuss, what are you doing with your $6,000 or whatever it is? And how can we work together? And right, we need to have a whole new understanding about all that thing with the mowing against the gravestones.
Well, now we need to talk. Yeah.
Yeah,
we
it's
need to talk
pretty much a nightmare.
Yeah.
Thank you, town leadership.
Well, so yeah, I know. Although Hugh backed down, remember we were going to leave the old section, we were going to leave that a little bit higher. And then he got some complaints and he went back and started mowing it again.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I completely understand that, but I also think we need to have a little more control.
I agree. And I do think there's a way, like frankly, the mowing in my house has gotten a little behind schedule. And it doesn't look bad. Like if you mow it once a month or something.
Right,
Like
right.
there's a few things grow up to be 6 inches tall. It looks kind of nice, a little clean hands lace, a little that. Creeping thyme turns purple and has beautiful flowers if you let it grow a little bit.
Really, yeah, I know. It can be really nice. And I think it's a matter of basically saying to this person, if you start getting complaints, send them on to us.
Yes.
And I'll be happy to deal with them. you know?
Absolutely.
So,
Yes. So that'll be a good time. Yeah, we can do a reset with.
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
Sounds good.
yeah. So I think we're done here.
Cool.
We'll make this a big deal for next time, okay?
Sounds good.
So
And I'll,
do you want to focus on just one part of it or all of it, or
maybe we should see what people,
just get general?
yeah.
Yeah,
And then,
I mean, again, this can be something that we don't have to decide at the next meeting. but we-
right. We're just gonna, but I think we need to spend time at it, yeah.
okay,
And our next meeting is August 26th, so.
August 26th.
That's election day in the town also.
Oh, it is.
We can vote while we're here. It's going to be so convenient.
There we go.
God, you're right. I hope I still will be out. It'll be downstairs. It won't be up here, so. Great. I like the idea of a planting endowment. I think that's a nice idea.
Say that again.
I like the idea of a planting endowment where we eventually have a bunch of money set aside for. It really makes sense.
Yeah.
Having this big lump of money, it's nice to separate things out so that you can say, oh, this amount of money is available to take care of those trees.
On the other hand, it's also a restriction, so, you know,
Right,
maybe.
Right.
It goes
It gets
both ways.
complicated.
Yeah, right.
Patience there.
All right, I'm
So
gonna,
yes, it's in the to be discussed department.
all right.
That's why they pay us the big bucks.
Exactly.
All right, meeting adjourned. Everybody in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Okay, 10:39.